To Nickety's Bluegrass and Rhode Island, Rhode Island's only weekly bluegrass show.
Woo!
I'm doing this for 11 years here in Providence. Thank you. 11 years, yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. Seems like 22. But super excited to have these guys down. They're 10 days away of going to Nashville to start recording on their third album. But you guys are lucky because tonight they've got albums 1 and 2 right here in the suitcase. So they're $20 a CD. Take a little bit of Rock Hearts home with you. See one of the band members and get hooked up with the CD. There's a special price for 2, isn't there? 2 for $35, right?
Yeah, but
That's a bargain at twice the price. So make sure you hook yourself up. They've got some hats and some T-shirts. Take home some Rock Hearts swag. These guys, they played Jenny Brook just a few weeks ago. They'll be at Thomas Point this year. Yeah, and various other places. Like I said, they're going to be recording for 2 weeks in Nashville. A week? Just a week. It'll seem like 2. I'm sure by the time we're through.
seemed like a month.
It seemed like a month. Well, please put your hands together for the Rock Hearts.
Woo!
This past Friday, the 14th, on international radios and all that kind of good stuff with the Net Radio and the Bluegrass Jamboree. So make sure you give your DJ a call and request that song, and we appreciate that. But that was a big song by Jonathan Edwards back in 1971, written by his college roommate and bandmate Malcolm McCann. So thank you so much for that. We're going to do one now, a song that Bill Thibodeau over here wrote with his friend Stan Keach up in Maine. One called The Whispering Water. Yellow hair and your flashing blue eyes, they blinded me so I believed all your lies. You told me you loved me, you tormented me. here, written by, as I said, Bill Thibodeau here, a mandolin player, and Stan Keats, a really great songwriter from up in the Maine area. That song was covered by the likes of Audie Blaylock and James King, correct? And we loved it so much, we just claimed it back, and we put that on the last album, and did pretty well for us. Man, I heard the banjo string pop a second ago, and I think that's probably the first time in the 25 years we've been playing together that ever happened. Yeah, because Joe doesn't change the strings but every 25 years anyway. So perfect time.
25-year-old string.
You got your money's worth, huh? Yeah. So let me just tell you a little bit about us. We are from the New England area, and we have had a great time. We're celebrating two things this season. First of all, this is 10 years that this band has been together. It started 10 years ago at Joe's birthday party. He asked his wife Sandy that for his birthday he just wanted to have his really good friends over, have a picnic session, have really good food, good wine, and that lasted about 10 hours or so. And it was 10 of the best hours of food and picking and wine that I've ever had. And thankfully, Pete Kelly, the original bass player, said, God, maybe we should form a band. So that was 10 years ago, everyone, and we're so excited. Thank you. We did a small EP project shortly after starting in about 2016, up with Bob Dick. Up in Upton, Massachusetts, and we sent that to some promoters, and we got into the Pemi Valley Bluegrass Festival, was our first festival, and then the Joe Val Bluegrass Festival. Woo! And then a couple of years later, we went in and did a full independent project. We recorded down at the Dark Shadow Studio with Stephen Mogen, who is the guitar player for the Sam Bush Band. And Stephen's an old friend of the band's, and so we went down there, and that independent project caught the attention of Sammy Passamala III, the owner of the 615 Hideaway record label. And so a year later, Sammy signed us to the 615 Hideaway record label. And so we are now on tour, and the second part of this summer, we are on tour for our Wanderlust CD release. That's our debut CD with the 615 Hideaway record label. But as Sal was saying, we're heading down in 10 days to record our second project with the 615 and our third overall. But we do have copies tonight of Wanderlust and the independent project called Starry Southern Nights. That's another song we'll do for you. All right, Joey, you about ready? Well, just in time to feature our fiddle player down here. He's this guy right here, I tell you, he's just one of the finest, most talented young fellas we know. Hold on, everybody. Capo.
So you're going to be able to do it?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you'll bring it.
That worked one time. We played a show and said, anyone have an extra bow? Someone gave us a bow.
All right. So in any case, this guy over here, he's the newest member of the band, and we love this guy dearly. He's a former music educator turned full-time musician. He heads up the Connecticut Bluegrass Music Association. He left teaching altogether to become a full-time musician, and we are just so thrilled. He was a member of the 2023 IBMA, that's International Bluegrass Music Association's leadership team, and as of this morning at 11 o'clock, he was named as one of the nominees, one of the 5 nominees for the 2023 IBMA Momentum Mentor of the Year Award. And can't think of anyone more deserving of that recognition. So we're going to put him to work now just so you can see what he's all about. I'm going to do a song for you now called Washington County.
I'll do this.
banjo, playing with those 5 strings. This guy over here, he's going to cool off his fingers for a little bit. This is Bill Thibodeau on the mandolin. And, this guy doesn't get a whole lot of credit. He sits back there, thumps that big upright bass, but he's one of the finest bass players around. More than that, one of the best human beings in this world, everybody. We're going to get him up here to sing a harmony on an old traditional bluegrass number for you, an old Flat and Scruggs song. Ricky, you ready? He drove all the way up here from Ridgefield, Connecticut to be with us tonight. Everyone, Rick Brodsky on the bass. And I think we're going to do an old song for you now called The Blue Ridge Cabin Home. Rick's line just brings that whole song together, Rick. Yes, sir. All right, take a second here to tune up and tell you about this next song. It was a song that was written by a dear old friend of Bill Thibodeau's over here, a guy by the name of Bill Smith. If you're not a stranger to bluegrass music in New England, there was a band operating back in the 80s named Bluegrass Supply Company. And Bill Smith was the mandolin player of that band, and he and Billy here became good friends. And after Bill's time in the Air Force, they hooked up together and performed a lot with that band. And he wrote this next song that we recorded on our first album, and then he wrote an instrumental that we recorded on our last album. It was this song debuted at #1 for us on the charts, and that's pretty cool. So we'll do it for you now. Yeah, we like chart activity. That's always a good thing. But yeah, we'll do it for you now. Here's one called "Wake Up and Smell the Coffee." warning, huh? That's a warning. So back in 1975 or so, up in Maine, the lumber industry decided to make this really big change in how they did things. So it used to be, and I'm sure you've seen this in the history books, that they'd down these big giant logs and then they'd float them down the river. And there was this whole bunch of fellas and ladies that would go out and work the lumber with their with these spike shoes and these big spikes, and they'd push these big logs down the river. Well, in 75 or so, they decided they would stop doing that. And instead, they would put these big logs on these big semi-trucks and drive them down the highways instead. So about the time Billy, as a kid, was living up in Cambridge, Maine, this little town with his dad. Little town. Little Billy was living in a little town, and just not too far away from Kennebec River. And so his dad, who was a pioneer of bluegrass music in New England, a fellow by the name of Sam Tidwell, and his band called the Kennebec Valley Boys, they performed this song. He wrote it. Sam wrote this song at the breakfast table one morning, and more of it is a protest song. And about 3 or 4 months later, the Associated Press got a hold of this story about the logging changes and whatnot, but they heard this song in the background. And a few months later, Billy's mom woke him and all of his siblings up to come downstairs because Dad was on TV playing this song on Good Morning America. So we'll do it for you now. This is the song on the new album we got here. There's one called The Last Log Drive. We'll be in Nashville from the 7th through the 11th of August, then we'll come back and we're going to be up at Thomas Point Beach Bluegrass Festival up in Brunswick, Maine. Great festival. Hope you're going. It's they say it's where the music meets the sea. It's one of the most beautiful little inlets up in Maine, and great picking and great lineup. Check this out for Friday night lineup. It's us at 6 o'clock. It's the Gibson Brothers at 7 o'clock. And it's Dan Tominski at 8 o'clock. And that's it. So for Friday night anyway. Woo! And Full Chord is playing right before us. So in any case, Friday night's going to be a big night. We're playing again on Saturday. And then if you all want to join us, we're driving down to New Jersey for a show at the Delaware Valley Bluegrass Festival. So it's going to be a big weekend. In any case, all right. Well, you guys like some old country music?
Yeah.
Big fans of country music? Something?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one's for you. All right. All right. That's the baby. Today I started loving you again, and now I'm right back to where I really have always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heartaches mend, and then today I started loving you again. What a fool I was to think I could buy with only these few million tears I cried. I should have known the worst was yet to come, and the crying time for me had just begun. Today I started loving you again, and now I'm right back to where I really have always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heartaches mend, and then today I started loving you again. Today I started loving you again, and now I'm right back to where I really have always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heartaches mend, and then today I started loving you again. Yesterday I started loving you again. There you go. That's little Merle Haggard for you. So, got to be friendly with this guy on Facebook. He and I, big fans of these pre-war Martin guitars. Pre-war. It's a pre-war. Sure costs a lot more. It's a pre-war Martin guitar, and so this guy and I started talking about these pre-war Martins, and I mentioned I was in the Rock Hearts and we were heading down to the studio, and he said, well, I got some songs I've been writing if you'd be interested. So he sent me some songs, and I said, well, do you play? And he says, yeah, I play in a country band and I do some bluegrass. I said, well, who do you play with? And he says, well, this guy, you might have heard of him. His name is Tim McGraw. True story. And so his name is Bob. And Bob pitched us this song here, and he wrote it with the 2021 IBMA Songwriter of the Year, a fellow by the name of Tom Yutz. And so together they wrote this song, and we were so thrilled to get our hands on it. We couldn't believe no one else had claimed it, and so we were quick to record it, everybody. And it's a song about farming, which we know absolutely nothing about, but it's all about, Joe's got chickens. I got chickens too. I wouldn't call myself a farmer though. But in any case, it's a really great song, and I'll do it for you now. One called Cotton, Corn, and Hay. Children only see them once a day. From think maybe we're gonna get some of you guys up here to sing a song. I don't know who wants to go first.
He does.
He does. All right. Well, Austin, you want to sing a song?
Yeah, on my mind.
On My Mind. All right. E. Yeah.
In the front, brother.
Well, it's a beautiful night.
Woo!
But,
Not strong in sight.
yeah, it's been nice. How y'all doing out there? Doing all right? How's it sounding? Okay?
Yeah.
Sounding good? All right. Good deal. Because we're playing for you, you know. Like, we like playing music together. We're playing for you, so we just want to make sure it's just right. All right? And if there's anything you don't like, just see Billy, and he'll take care of it.
Terminator.
I can't eat and I can't sleep. All I do is sit and cry. And listen for your footsteps at my door. I keep asking myself why you ever said goodbye. And I guess I've cried a million tears. On my mind, on my mind,
On my mind.
you're always in my heart and on my mind. Once I thought our love died, darling, here's what I find. You're always in my heart and on my mind. It seems I miss you most of all when the twilight shadows fall. What a fool I was to ever let you go. And if you're longing for me now, if I ever bring you back somehow, it'd be here in these loving arms I know. On my mind, on my mind, on my mind,
On my mind.
you're always in my heart and on my mind. Once I thought our love died, darling, here's what I find. You're always in my heart and on my mind. On my mind,
On my mind.
on my mind,
On my mind.
you're always in my heart and on my mind. Once I thought our love would die, darling, here's what I find. You're always in my heart and on my mind. You're always in my heart and on my mind.
Austin Scalzo there on the fiddle. So we just recently, in this past 2 weeks, we lost two big giant members of the bluegrass community. First off was a mandolin player, pretty influential mandolin player in his particular style of picking the mandolin. His name was Jesse McReynolds. He was the brother of the duet Jim and Jesse McReynolds that really brought around that Virginia bluegrass sound, and that was an awfully big hit to a lot of us. Me, as you know, I grew up with some Jim and Jesse. Thankfully, my parents had really good taste in music. And then we lost Bobby Osborne, just another one of the brothers of the famous Osborne Brothers band and duet. And so that was awfully big. And so a lot of their music, we'll do an Osborne Brothers song later on tonight. That was on our first album. That's gone really well. And then some of the songs that we write are influenced by that style. And so I wrote this song a while back and brought it to the band's attention. And Bill's done a really fine job of learning Jesse's cross-picking mandolin style. And not only that, but you have to understand that cross-picking the mandolin and trying to sing harmony, the left and right side of his brain are absolutely beating each other up over that. But he does a really fine job of it. And so, yeah, so we'll do it for you now. Here's one. It's called Pretty Little Bird. That's a Pretty Little Bird. Well, you know, it's not often that and I always introduce a song the same way, but it's pretty cool. So it's not often you get a banjo song that first is composed and then makes it to the charts. But this particular song did, and we couldn't be more proud of the guy that wrote it. This guy right here. I didn't say it, did I?
Yeah, no.
Although, check out his shirt, everybody. Old guys rule. But no,
I get to wear that because I'm now the oldest member of the band, but I was always the youngest my whole life.
This guy here, he's been picking banjo for a few years now, and he's played with some great acts in bluegrass music, the likes of Frank Wakefield and John Harold, and the late great Joe Val.
Oh, yeah.
Joe was one of the New England bluegrass boys, and had a great time picking with Joe. And Joey and I have been picking together over 25 years now, and he's become a dear friend, and I love him like a brother. And he wrote the song several years back and brought it to the band, and we put a life to it. And so yeah, we recorded it on the album, and yeah, it climbed up the chart for 7, I believe. We'll do it for you now. It's one called Juxtaposed. Hold on. We got a band. We got a guitar over here.
Oh man, you should show off now.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right.
Could be a train wreck. It's the only-
All right. Here we go. One called Juxtaposed. think of Billy Thibodeau's guitar picking right there? Huh?
I'll take it.
Yeah, right. I wish I could play a third of those notes.
Oh, you're playing.
Well, we're going to do a song here that was written by a dear friend of ours. Certainly no stranger to bluegrass music. He lives up in New Hampshire. He's a Grammy-nominated songwriter. Just recently signed a record deal, or a writing deal with a record label. And he's a dear friend of ours and served as a wonderful mentor for this band when we first got started and decided that we wanted to take it to perhaps the next level. And so his name is Rick Lang. And he's just one of the finest fellows around. And so he wrote this song here, and we'll do it for you now. All right, good. And this is one that we're set to record here in a couple weeks, 10 days or so. And, but it's a great story about a father and a son who just enjoyed being out in the wild and the wilderness. There's one called Tall Stands of Timber. Out deep in the forest, in the shadow of the mountain, the boy was always at his father's side. Oh, taller than a sapling, among the mighty evergreens, on his daddy's shoulders he would ride. A father and his son, they lived for every season, in harmonies with the oaks and pines. He knew the roots ran deep beneath the hardwood trees, and learned to trust the wise design.
Thank you.
Tall stand timber, reaching for the sky, solid as granite up on the mountainside. No matter where life took him, that boy would still remember walking with his daddy. Tall stands timber. His daddy knew the name of every tree in the forest, taught the boy how much one could be used. A sturdy pine board for the cabin floor, an old blackbird to kill from canoe. One day the boy came back to visit that old home place, hiking trails through the timber state. His own son on his shoulder,
Okay,
he
guys.
shared his father's wisdom.
Fill up the bucket.
Tall stands timber, reaching for the sky, solid as granite up on the mountainside.
Okay, fill it up. Fill it up. Thank you. Thank you.
That boy would still remember walking with his daddy. Tall stands timber. Tall stands timber, reaching for the sky, solid as granite up on the mountainside. No matter where life took him, that boy would still remember walking with his daddy. Tall stands timber. So what do you think? Should we record it?
Yeah.
Well, Bill, you feel like singing one? All right. Everybody, we're going to get Bill Thibodeau up here to sing a lead on one. Tell them all about it. Being a mandolin player, I'm a fan of Phil Monroe, of course. And this is one of my favorite songs that you always get. Too quickly, I don't have a lot to say. Yes, don't forget we have CDs and T-shirts and really cool hats, and got a bumper jack from a '57 Jeep somewhere. I'll sell you that if you want. Yes.
And the worst of the news is I'm going to sing one to you. So if you have to pee, now's the time to do it. I'll be down in about 4
One in town, can't you hear me calling?
all the days long and the nights lonely. Since you left me all alone, I love you so, my little darling. I'm so lonesome since you're gone. Sweetheart mine, can't you hear me call? How many times I love you best, mistreated you, Lord, and I'm sorry. Come back to me, it's mountain west. Remember that I worked hard. A big mistake, my cause it all. If you come back, sunshine follow, and stay away, look me mine. Sweetheart mine, can't you hear me call? How many times I love you best, mistreated you, Lord, and I'm sorry. Come back to me, it's my way.
Well, that's all we know, folks.
Shall we get the title track of the first album? Let's do that.
All right. Well, we know sometimes that folks will sneak out of here before the second set starts, so we want to try and get some of those songs that are most requested out. This is a song that I wrote back in 2005, shortly after returning from being down in Nashville for a while. And I was down at a place on exit, well, it used to be exit 3A. I don't even know what it is now. Exit 7 maybe for URI 138. But there's this really cool little place called the Wood River Inn. Yeah, they got bluegrass there on Sunday nights. And I was there on one particular night after getting back from being down in Nashville, and Mike Belay and the Hope Valley Volunteers were playing. And yep, we love Mike Belay and the Hope Valley Volunteers, and they were playing this waltz. And this older gentleman got out and started dancing on the dance floor all by himself. And we thought, well, perhaps the cynics were thinking he had one too many drinks, and maybe it was time for him to go home. But I just got this really soft heart. God just put this soft heart on me. He said, well, maybe there's something else going on right now. And I thought, So I started just taking a look at what I saw, and I thought that, yeah, maybe there is a different story happening here. And so I went home that night and wrote the song, and probably about 2 a.m, I was finished with it, brought it to the band. And it's a special song, and I really don't want to take a whole lot of credit for it. But it's a song that resonates with a lot of folks, and it's one of our most requested songs. It's the title track on the first album, and we'll do it for you now. And And also, there is a really stunning video of this particular song that was filmed by Joe Dietz's daughter Tori in the very same Wood River Inn that I wrote it in, but 17 years later. So that was pretty special too. But we'll do it for you now. One called Starry Southern Nights. Was playing a waltz. The old man stumbled from his chair. A sad smile flashed across his face as his mind drifted somewhere. He made his way through the crowd to an empty dance floor. He gently took his lover's hand. He found love with her once more. He held her tightly in his arms beneath those shiny neon lights, like he did when they were kids, under the starry southern night. He whispered, "Dear, I love you, and I will till I die." Now he's waltzing with her memory beneath the starry southern night. Fiddle hung on one last note, then his eyes filled up with tears. Although they dance here every night, his one true love's been gone for years. He whispered, "Dear, I love you, and I will till I die." Now he's waltzing with her memory beneath the starry southern night. Now he's waltzing with her memory beneath the starry southern nights. Thanks so much. What do you say, Sal? Do one more and take a little break, you think? Yeah? All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out. We're Rock Hearts, in case you missed that earlier on. And you can find us at rockheartsbluegrass.com, see what we might be playing. But we are literally from around here, but we love getting over here to Nickanese. This is really our hometown show, and don't often get to play for our friends and loved ones and family, so this is a really special time. So thank you all for coming out. Celebrating our 10-year anniversary and our Wanderlust CD tour. And we're going to take it out this first set with a song that we've been doing for a while, and it's a lot of fun. But don't run off, because we'll come back and do his whole second set for you. And again, I'll tell you, this guy over here too, in addition to just being a fabulous musician, he's got a metronome built into him, so he knows the rhythm of the song, and he's got perfect pitch, so he can tell from the other side of the room if your B string is flat or sharp or whatever. So folks, if you're gonna form a band, find someone with a metronome and perfect pitch. It's a strong recommendation. Just saying. All right, here it is. Song about a little motorcycle. One called the 52, Vincent Black.
Yeah. Woo.
Said Molly to James, that's fine motorbike. A girl could feel special on any such line. Said James to Red Molly, well, my hat's off to you. It's Vincent Black Lightning, 1952. And I've seen him on the corners and the cafes and seen red hair and black leather, my favorite color scheme. Then he pulled a run behind and down into Knoxville they'd ride. Said James to Red Molly, here's a ring for your right hand, but I'll tell you an honest, I'm a dangerous man. For I fought with the law since I was 17. Yeah, I robbed many a man to get my Vincent machine. But now 21 years, I might make 22. But I don't mind dying before the love of you. And if fate should break my stride, well, then I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Come down, Red Molly called Sergeant Gray. For they've taken young James in for armed robbery. Shotgun blast to his chest left nothing behind. So come down, Red Molly, to his dying bedside. Since he got to the hospital, there wasn't much left. He was running out of road, he was running out of breath. But he smiled to see her cry and said, I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Said James, in my opinion, well, there's nothing in this world that beats a 52 Vincent and a red-headed girl. Now Nortons and Indians and Greens just won't do. No, they just don't have a soul like Vincent 52.